This is known as the Capital Markets Subcommittee. Our last hearing was on the stock markets. This hearing is about the most critical part of the bond markets. It's hard to say that we're not focusing on our capital markets, though as a philatelist, I believe that perhaps we're leaving out the market for collectible stamps. So we're covering the bond market, we're covering the stock market. The critical element that the bond rating agencies play is exemplified by the fact that if you're putting together a portfolio and you generate a 5.7% return on bonds rated either AA or AAA, you look good compared to somebody else who puts together a portfolio meeting the same requirements who's only getting 5.6%. The fact is, whether you're putting together a portfolio for an insurance company and trying to please your boss there, or whether you're putting together a portfolio for a mutual fund, the ratings determine what you need to put into that portfolio. As to the problem that focused on this hearing, we are being told by some that it's an unimportant problem. 9 Republican members signed the letter urging that this problem be dealt with, and I think our witnesses have illustrated how important this problem is. And as I say, I think this subcommittee hearing was remarkably effective and that the proposal has been withdrawn. But that raises the question for our witness from S&P. Is this proposal dead or just sleeping for a while?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to give more information on the ongoing request for comment process. So on Monday, the 9th of May, we published an FAQ that announced the withdrawal of one particular section that was describing the way we were proposing to deal with a fairly complex technical issue, which is how to assess the thousands of securities held by insurers.
I'm going to interrupt you there. We have an anti-notching statute that deals with asset-based securities. Is there any reason we shouldn't extend that to all bond issuances?
Well, I've got no particular view about that. What I'm trying to say is that...
Well, that is the major proposal being considered by this subcommittee and on our list of proposals, and the fact that you aren't here to oppose that proposal commends it to all of our colleagues.
We've got an open request for comment that continues. We will continue to take in comments. There were serious concerns raised. We took them into account. It's out there for everyone to see.
I thank you for doing that, and knowing that this issue could come up in the months and years ahead, think that we need legislation. Why don't I ask the gentleman from Fitch. One proposal before us is that we prevent the bond rating agencies of the United States from rating any new instruments coming out of Russia and Belarus, or we might limit it to certain state-affiliated firms. We could go further with secondary sanctions and turn to the foreign-based bond rating agencies and say if they rated such bonds, they could not rate bonds here in the United States, or at least American issuers couldn't pay them to do so. What effect would denying bond ratings to all future issuances by Belarus and Russia have on their ability to raise capital?
Well, for us in Russia, the ship has already sailed. We announced a suspension of commercial operations in Russia on the 7th of March. We announced on the 23rd of March our intention to withdraw all the ratings in Russia towards the end of March over several days.
Thank you. I'll ask the gentleman from S&P. You still rating Russia?
No, we don't. We withdrew all our ratings on Russian entities.
Are foreign-based bond rating agencies rating them? The Japanese, the Europeans? You don't know.
Sorry, just to interrupt. The EU passed the law for any rating agency based in Europe that endorses international ratings that they have to withdraw their ratings by the 15th of April.
Oh, okay. Next, I'll ask our representative from Kroll. We've got a system of different ratings. Instead of saying first best, second best, third best, fourth best, all the way up to 18th best, We've got weird combinations of plus and minus signs, capital and small letters, which are absolutely unintelligible. What would be the harm to the bond rating agency if you just said first best, second best, third best? Would it be a great harm to our society if my constituents could understand what you're saying?
Thank you for your question, Chairman Sherman. I don't think it would be. any
I
great
see that
harm
my
to your
time has expired. I'm going to ask you to respond for the record and recognize the gentleman from Michigan.